The truth of the matter is this.
Welcome.
I don't think a lot of the consuming public knows that, but that is the case.
goatforreal216.
It's just math. Just math.
The podcast.
He's a little bit savage.
We're back.
We're back.
What's up, Eva B?
What's up, Sean P?
You know what it is.
How are you today?
So, skinny?
Yeah.
Not really, but I mean, I'm skinnier.
Are you loving it? Are you feeling better?
I feel amazing.
People have been noticing online.
I know.
They've been asking you what you're doing. They want to know.
I know. So, like, I'm doing this top secret, only, it's almost like only the Illuminati knows about it.
I guess we got the in because we know about it.
Well, I'm part of the Illuminati. So they called me in the room and they said, here's how you lose weight, fatty. And it's called semaglutide.
Yep.
Have you heard of it?
Very recently, yes. So
what it does is like suppresses your hunger.
Mhm.
Like I'm not hungry, like ever.
I wish. I'm hungry all the time.
Like never. But here's the thing. So I have zero willpower. So those of you out there that are thinking, oh my God, he's losing weight. That's so admirable. It's very little to do with my willpower. Like it's really about the fact that with the semaglutide stuff, if you eat something bad, you get sick.
Ugh.
It's like an opiate blocker. Like
Okay,
how drug
that's
addicts recover by taking like these blockers where if they use, they literally go into like acute withdrawal. Same thing.
That's a good comparison, actually.
It is. It's the same. So you get like, dude, I had 2 French fries one day and I thought I was going to barf for
Oh my
like
gosh.
an hour.
Woof.
Swear to God. So I had no choice.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, that will work for me.
Well, hey, nothing wrong with eating healthy, though.
I know, it's been kind of cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've lost like 15 pounds.
That's
yeah, but
awesome.
like people on like TikTok and stuff are mentioning it and stuff.
Yeah, I've been seeing the comments floating around, people asking.
But you know what? I'm
how
going to
you
honest
do
with
it.
you though, even if I didn't lose weight, you know what? I would still be like sick. You know what I mean? Like I'm still like a stud.
I mean, we all know why. There it is.
Everybody knows about it.
Yep.
So like I could be 300 pounds, but when Matt up at Side Out cuts that in, it's a panty dropper.
That's all you got to do. So before we jump into everything, we do want to give a shout out to this week's sponsor, ELEVENTH Productions.
Yes, ma'am. Of course.
Of course. We love Evolutionary Productions. They're very near and dear to my heart, particularly.
They do a great job. So,
what do you want to talk about this week?
Me being hot.
I mean, that's a topic we could talk about every week, but any car specific things you want to talk about this week?
Yeah. You know what I'm sick of in the car business?
What's that?
All of the fraud that goes on.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is this, like all of the fraud that goes on from the consumer side makes me queasy. Fake pay stubs. They're making fake bank statements right now that unless you're an expert, you wouldn't know. They're making bank statements, which I'm sure is somehow bank fraud, which I'm sure is like a felony. But people are making fake pay stubs, fake bank statements, fake IDs, which whatever, we all did that. But, and, all this fraud that's going on. And then, so like on Facebook Marketplace, I noticed too, because, buying cars from private owners and stuff like that. Like I find myself a marketplace sometimes. Every other ad is BS.
It's so funny you mentioned
like
that.
It's just fraud everywhere.
I was just looking today, and like some of the cars, people are like, oh, original blah, 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 $250,000. And I'm like, what? And they show pictures of these titles, and I'm just like, that's not real at all. Yeah,
there's so much fraud going on. Like, guys will put, now a lot of it's dealers, of course, because, dealers are, the biggest fraudsters, right? I mean, we're the most creative when it comes to, how to sell a car in a manner that's going to get you the most money for the least amount of work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, but I'm running into these guys and, they're posing as private owners, like as private sellers, you know what I mean? And they're not, they're dealers, but they hook these people in. And, I did a TikTok on one last week. Guy would not give me the VIN number for the car. And I did a TikTok on it, and they got a bunch of views and comments. People were cracking up. I just kept asking the guy, will you send me the VIN? And he goes, well, I put a new motor in. I'm like, cool, will you send me the VIN? He's like, well, you know what, I got this, that. I'm like, that's cool, can you send me the VIN? You know what I mean? And the guy would not give, now, I know what that means.
It's a very simple ask.
It's a rebuilt salvage title.
Right.
I already know what it means. But I was having fun with the guy. But the fraud in the car business is just at an all-time high. Like I said, with the pay stubs and the bank statements and, you know, just all of the stuff, man, it's crazy. And then you've got, fake credit bureaus, people are, doing ITINs and all this stuff, and creating fake credit bureaus. I mean, the fraud is just rampant. And it's no wonder these banks are pulling out of the car business, because there's so much fraud and, they're trusting guys like me, car guys who want to make car deals to vet all this stuff for them.
Yep.
And I'm not a forensic accountant.
Right. Some of it's getting really convincing nowadays.
I barely get past, I barely count to 10. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do the best I can, but these banks are at risk. Another bank, I thought I saw Citizens, which is a small to medium sized lender. In some areas of the country, they actually do a lot of business, but they're pulling out of the automobile lending industry too.
Wow.
Capital One pulled out of floor planning.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
We had a real big branch here, Regional Auto Finance, closed down. That's a branch that's a subsidiary of Truist, which is a huge lender. So it's getting ugly, and it's, but it's not all dealers. It's the fraud that goes on from the consumer side, I think, scares the banks too, because, the dealer's going to put the car on the road unless he's very detail oriented and has the time and personnel to vet all these documents. They're going to put the car on the road based on a pay stub that looks somewhat correct and real. And then the lender is on the hook now. You know what I mean? If that deal gets funded. Now, the lenders check the pay stubs, but I'm telling you, some of these stubs are good enough. They're getting by some of these lenders' funding departments. Yeah. I really believe they are. And it's scary.
I don't doubt
it's
that.
Scary. And I hate that my industry is just so full of fraud. And what's going to happen is you're just going to start to see so much increased regulation. And you're going to have to. And these banks are so tight now. People that had a 720 credit score that were a done deal 2 years ago, a year ago, now they want proof of income and stuff on the people because of the fraud. Yeah. So I don't know. I just, it's something that really bothers me. I like the good old days when the dealers were the only fraudsters.
Right. Well, and it's fun. I was just thinking too, like, aside from how it affects the banks, when people walk in, we had it happen a couple times when we were working together. A customer will come in, their stuff is convincing, but definitely fake. Yeah. Now our sales staff is super frustrated because the deal's not going to happen and they wasted hours with this customer. Right. The customer's pissed because they thought they were leaving in a car. Right. And it just creates these huge tense situations that don't really need to exist. There's other ways to get a car.
Yeah, I mean, because like if you walk into a dealership and like a guy like me is there, okay, who's committed, and, who knows what he's doing. If you don't make a lot of income, or you're self-employed or 1099, I'm probably getting you approved if there's a sliver of a chance. I mean, you got to be pretty. You got to be a career credit criminal.
Ma'am, we need to talk about your credit bureau real quick.
Okay, what about my credit bureau?
It says you have a restraining order on here. Apparently, your credit is so bad that you cannot be within 500 feet of any car loans. You step anywhere inside of a car dealership and try to get a car loan, then I am to call the financial felons hotline. Wait.
For me not to get you approved. Right. And I'm not being arrogant. There's a lot of guys like me, that will try hard and that know all the banks and stuff. So, but like, you decrease your chances when you go home and you make a pay stub on paystubs.com and then you forget to take the watermark off and you give it to me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, now I don't want to sell you a car. Had I not known about the lie before, I might have got you done. Right. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. The fraud is just something in the car business that's really bothering me. I've never understood. I always think there's a better way to do things.
Right. A good hustling salesperson is going to make sure they do their best to get you approved without all that.
And listen, I don't care who you are. You got a granny, you got an aunt, you got an uncle, you got a sugar daddy. Somebody will co-sign for you.
Somebody.
Everybody on this planet, not everybody, but 90% of the people, if they try hard enough, they can talk somebody into co-signing for them. Yep. There's one family member that still thinks you're a decent person.
Or even a friend, or,
If you've burned everybody, there's one uncle or aunt who still believes in you.
Yeah, all right, sure.
Right, yeah, right. Hey, Auntie Eva, if I just get this car, I can go to work and change my life around and stop doing all the stupid shit I do.
I mean, all right.
Okay, all right, I'll sign for you, honey. You know what I mean?
Don't mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, you burn them, now you're screwed.
Yep.
But so anyways, there's better ways to do it. So if you're out there and you're home right now and you're on paystubs.com and you're making up a pay stub, please don't say that you work at Burger King and make $12,000 a month. Because that's what they do. Instead of like making it legit, they're like, well, I better.
All right, what's minimum wage times 35 hours a week?
Right, so if you did make a good pay stub, now I see the amount. Now I'm like, hold on a second. You know what I mean? You know, so, but anyways, that's my rant, because I don't think that we have to be fraudulent. I think we can work harder as salespeople and find car deals, and as customers, we can call that one aunt who still believes in us. Or, hey, guess what? I got an idea. Save some down payment.
Right, just save it up.
I mean, I know that's novel, but like, save a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Stop spending money on whatever your vice is, and like save a little bit of money and have a down payment. Then we'll get you approved.
Yeah.
It's not rocket. I mean, I know I'm really smart, but that's not. I didn't make that up.
Right. I mean, you don't even need Google for that one.
I'm just saying. So, anyways, I don't know. It's been bothering me, especially since. And the other thing that's bothered me real quick, and then I know we got to do break soon, is the other thing that's bothering me. Maybe we'll get into it later, but I am so sick and tired of these fake car experts on social media. Have you seen my posts?
Oh yes, all of them. About
There's
that
people
in
on
specific.
there. They learn a few keywords about the car business. Instagram, they're huge on Instagram.
I have
it's a big
noticed
on
that too.
TikTok,
Yeah.
But huge on Instagram. And now, so they hear a couple of words like residual and money factor and, a few keywords that sound like you got to be an expert to know it about the car business that you can find on Google.
Right.
And they're starting to charge people $29, $59, $79, and presenting themselves as an expert and somebody that can save somebody money on a car. And I call every single one of them out.
Half these people have never even worked in the industry. Like, it's not in their resume.
Dude, there's people like, sir, you don't work at a car dealership. You can't work at a dealership looking like that. You're not allowed to go in. I'm just telling you, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but they're presenting themselves as experts, and people are going to their bio page and they're paying them.
Right, and that's.
They're
I mean,
ripping
it's
people
filling
off.
that person's pocket, but it's not helping the people in any way, and that's just like the definition of a ripoff. Like,
I had one who booked me through my Beacons page. This girl out of New York, real quick. Girl out of New York. She was not a rocket scientist, but whatever's like below that, some sort of engineer. Like, she was smart. Okay, she was like 27 years old. Very not bad to look at, by the way. But she was in New York City, and she booked me through my Beacons page. She wanted help buying a car. She had, wanted advice, and she had a great credit score and all this stuff. And after talking to her for like 3 minutes, and the booking it's nothing. It's $29. That's what, if somebody books me, it's $29. I'm 15 minutes on the phone with them. I do a Zoom call. But after like 3 minutes, I was like, you don't need me. Like, you don't need me. I'm going to refund your money because you don't need me. Like, you're smart.
she just wanted that, like,
She just needed
reassurance.
because she had figured pretty much everything out and just wanted to confirm it was right. So like, why take somebody's money if you can't help them?
Like, you're not providing new information, so.
Right. If you don't know what you're doing and I help you, my expertise and experience helps you, I think it's fair for me to make money off that.
Right.
Because I'm the guy that went to a car dealership for 25 years and learned it.
Exactly.
So I think that's fair. But if you can't help somebody, don't take their money.
Right.
That's what I mean. All this fraud stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
What's in your hair today?
These are my fluffiest cat ears. I wear cat ears every time you see me.
I don't know. Today they're standing out.
Well, these are a rather large pair
they're
that are
different.
super fluffy.
Yeah, they're
and,
different. Yeah.
not
They're-
my standard, but
Yeah.
that's what we got today. So
Yeah.
I was
So
feeling feisty.
You have a cat on your head.
Yep.
What's another word for cat that's on your head?
This is a family-friendly show, Sean.
I was going to say kitten. I don't know. I would say kitten. So,
And we all know,
but
eyes to the left, smirk. I'm never going to think of the innocent answer first, okay?
this is let's not get off the rails.
Well, I think then we should take a break so that we can jump into some exciting stuff in the second half.
I'm down.
All right.
Holler.
So, want to thank a company that is near and dear to my heart.
Who's that?
EVAlutionary Productions.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so familiar. I wonder where I've heard that before.
Guys, let me tell you about EVAlutionary Productions. So it's run by a gal named Eva B in the industry. And so she is a technical, artistic whiz with a great work ethic and exquisite artistic ideas when it comes to any and all things digital production. If you are looking for somebody to help you remote, or you could be local, Eva has started a company called EVAlutionary Productions, and it is taking off. So you can be one of the beggars. You can add your name to the list. But if you come from this podcast and you say it, I bet you get moved to the top.
I think that's pretty accurate.
I think that's true.
EVAlutionary Productions, helping you create evolutionary content.
Goat Army, what's up? It's Sean P.
And I'm Eva B.
Got a really exciting announcement.
We are bringing the podcast to you live for a season finale recording.
So join us in person, Tuesday, May 9th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Medina, Ohio.
We will be answering your questions live and in person, as well as being joined by some of our previous show guests like Jimmy Vega, Michael Dorencott, The Hammer, or Trisha Payne.
Aside from getting your questions answered live and in person, get the chance to meet me, the GOAT, and Eva B, and talk one-on-one.
We're both very pumped to meet all of you. Be sure to check the show notes and all socials for where to sign up. You need to sign up because there is limited seating available.
Yeah, and the best part is free to you guys.
As long as you sign up on time.
Yeah, holler.
Holla. All right, we are back.
Hi.
Hi.
I missed you.
Did you have a nice break?
Yeah.
Mine was lovely.
I drank some of my vanilla double shot espresso.
I'm all out of my matcha latte.
Starbucks,
so.
we need a brand deal.
We really do. We
need a
both
brand
drink your beverages every week.
I should have stock in Starbucks.
I think I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, I made you money today.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Evolutionary Productions, for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you, thank you. And I know we literally just heard the ad, but just as a reminder, we're getting closer and closer to our season finale. So if you have not signed up yet, please sign up while seats are still available.
Right, do that. Whatever she said.
Yep.
Do it.
All the info is down below.
Right, that's inappropriate to say.
I mean, listen, I just tell it like it is, okay?
Gotcha. So today's focus on today's questions, again, the idea has always been on the podcast to try to, in season one, cover every aspect of the auto industry. And what's interesting is I'm getting a lot of comments back, people that are subscribing and that are watching it and that are saying that was good. They like that. They've never seen the finance. They learn more about the finance part, or the used car part, or the new car, or the rebates, or this or that, or the manufacturer stuff. So the one aspect that we haven't covered yet is the wholesale side of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think people are aware. I'm sure they're not. Is the wholesale side of it can be a very lucrative side of the car business, but it's also a side of the car business that consumers don't understand. That like a franchise dealership. It's normally a loss center. It's normally where losses occur. So I hear everybody say, "Oh, you make too much on a car. You make $2,000 or $3,000." Yeah, but you don't know how many times I lose $1,000 on your trade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's worth this, or you tell me you need $4,000 to make the deal. I give you the $4,000. The auction brings $3,000. I mean, I don't call you and say, "Hey, Mr. Customer, you know what I mean? I need that other $1,000. I lost money on your car." But so a lot of consumers don't know that that's a back end of the business that happens, and it affects the P&L, the profit loss, the monthly statement. So, but it's also an area of the business that I don't think a lot of people know is a self-sufficient business for a lot of people.
Right.
That do just wholesale, meaning they buy and sell cars wholesale between dealers. Most of them today, if they're smart, are doing it online. But they buy it from one dealer, clean it up, deliver it to another dealer, mark it up, and make a profit. Yeah. And back in the 80s and 90s, I mean, guys became millionaires doing it. No, I mean, legit. Yeah. Like there was as much money in wholesale as there was in retail.
Yeah, it was kind of different back then.
It was way different. Yeah, I mean, there was no there was no internet to tell guys what to pay for cars.
Right.
Now these guys are dummies now. They can't function without a V-Auto or inventory tool. But it's still a very cool part of the business that is kind of underground that a lot of people don't know about. So, here in Cleveland, there's a very big outfit that wholesales, upwards of 300 cars a month that just wholesale. They buy it from one dealer and sell to another one.
Yep.
Now, then there's one guy in that dealership who does it even smarter. So he buys cars, from local dealers, right? And he turns around and he buys locally, but then he markets them nationally.
Okay.
So you buy in Cleveland, which is here in an ideal situation. It works like this: you buy in a distressed market, right? Cleveland.
Yep.
Right. It's a poor economy, or poor-ish. But then you list the car nationally to all of the markets where people have money. And the idea is, common sense will tell you should be able to make money doing that.
Right.
If you buy the car correctly and you buy the car at a good number. So his name is Juan Brettrager, and he's with us today.
Hello.
Hey, Go Gang, this is Eva from the future editing the podcast, and I just want to let everybody know we do have a decent amount of audio issues moving forward in the remainder of the podcast. This will definitely be fixed by season 2. We're going to have much better sound mixing equipment, so thanks for sticking through. Holla!
Hello.
He's one of my best friends that I've had in my entire life. We've known each other for 30 years. And he's the central figure at this wholesale company that does the online stuff. And Juan does a lot. I mean, he did 100 cars last month, buying locally, cars that are bought locally and sold nationally. Did I already say that?
Yes.
You mentioned it last week, I think.
I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
That's why I said it again. I'll say it again. I don't know. I like that, and I like this. That's what I like.
Yep.
So that's Juan. Say hi, Eva.
Hi, Juan. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Juan.
Hey, buddy.
So, are you going to ask? Why don't you ask? You ask questions.
All the questions?
I don't know. We'll see how you do.
All right. Well, as everybody has seen on past episodes, we do like to get to know our guests a little bit before we start in on questions. So, explain how you guys actually know each other.
Well, we met right outside of high school. Like right when we graduated, we went to community college together.
Okay.
And at that time, Sean was getting into the car business, and that was his thing. And we were just school kids going to school, 18, 19 years old, and I was working jobs here and there, you know what I'm saying, and I never ended up finishing, so I ended up dropping out. I met my wife. I had kids, and just life hit you, pretty.
What he doesn't want to say out loud is we didn't go to class.
Right.
Right. We met because there was a place called like the Pod or something where everybody hung out between classes.
Eat curly fries all day.
The actual students. They went to class and then they hung out in the Pod between classes. We hung out in the Pod all day. And so we just were in this group of kids, guys, they were all kind of like, I guess you'd say kind of like similar guys, young kind of hustler type guys, you know what I mean? We thought we were all slick with our Cavariccis on and, I'm saying, rocking. I might have cut my mullet by then. I'm pretty sure I did.
Still don't believe you had one.
I mean, it was the 90s, bro. I mean, it was like, dude, it was Vanilla Ice. It was that time. So, Juan and I struck up a friendship, and there was a group of us that kind of did that. But yeah, it was right. I mean, we were different.
We started hanging out and just became good friends, and then we just maintained that relationship, throughout.
Well, and
then I got into the car business, and we worked together, and I worked for him, and
we reconnected,
and just kept the relationship going, and so far so good.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So it actually kind of leads into the next question. Have you always done wholesaling, or wha's your history with the car industry?
No. When I first started in the industry, I went in as a newbie. I just want to sell cars.
Okay, gotcha.
And
retail.
Yep.
And in the retail business. And I started out working at a Ford dealership, And then I got my feet on the ground, and I got some experience, and then I moved over to a more of a high volume dealership, a Chrysler Jeep dealership, and then I started selling Hyundais. But one thing was that I noticed that anywhere I went, I'm bilingual, so I had a good following. So
Okay.
everywhere that I went, and just my persona, and I did very well. I led the board with the most sales, and
That's awesome.
it was great. It was very good to me as far as at the time being able to provide for my family and have a job where I'm not digging a ditch or lifting bricks or anything like that, and I was making a pretty good living at it, and so I fell in love with it, and I stuck with it, and I just started learning more and more and more about all the other aspects of the business, as far as buying, selling, the finance end of it, which I never really got into it, but I knew somewhat of how it works, and
Juan's a sponge. I mean, so
and then just
always.
just teaching other people, you know what I mean, the newer guys are coming in, and what works for me, and I loved it, so, but it got to a point where I just got totally burnt out.
Yeah.
I was at a dealership from 9 to 9, back in the day, and we didn't have split shifts or nothing like that, and
They got it easy today.
your day off. I worked my day off. My only day off was Sunday because
Right, what's
the
the day
dealership was
off?
closed. You know what I mean? So, because back then, if you weren't there for your delivery, and you spent 2-3 hours with somebody, and somebody else has to put the temporary plate on the car, it's now you got to split the deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I didn't want nobody else getting a hold of my money. So it was long hours. Long weeks, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And it just got to the point where I had my little ones, and never hardly being at home. It just it got to me, and it got to the point where I took a break.
Yeah.
And then once I decided to go back into it, I kind of like found a niche. You say, hey, let me try this aspect of the business because I think it's more lucrative for my lifestyle.
And that's when you got into wholesale?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the retail side, I mean, it'll burn you out. I mean, Juan's spitting facts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, when you're young, like we were back then, it didn't feel like work because you're hustling.
Yeah,
you're talking to people.
Yeah, you're having fun with the guys and stuff like that.
Up, you're looking good.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like work. But as you, like he's saying, as you get a little older, the car business tends to steal the things from your life. That once you get older, you start to go, oh my God, I missed this basketball game for, he's got a son who's a magnificent basketball player, or I missed this, or my wife was mad because she had dinner ready and I didn't get home. So this is a natural progression that I was talking about, where you start to go, God, is there another end of I love the car business. Is there something else I can do in it?
Right.
You know what I mean? And luckily for Juan, he was built for wholesale. We just didn't know it back then. You know what I'm saying? Because, I think he's grateful, and I'm happy for him. He found the wholesale end of it, and that's where he excels. I mean, but you were great at retail, bro.
Yes, yeah, I was.
You were great at retail.
I loved it. I loved dealing with people, meeting different people. Just networking. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you how many jobs I got offered.
Right.
To work for other companies or selling other products, and I just always stuck with the car business because it was just a passion for me. So
addictive.
Yep.
Especially if you're good at it.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about a couple street kids that we didn't go to class, we didn't finish college. So what were we gonna do? You know what I mean? You got a couple choices, right? I mean, you can go like we're talking about, break bricks.
Yeah, go work at a union job. And,
right.
Yeah.
Or you can go into the car business, if you want to make money.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
I mean, if you want to go make the same kind of money as everybody else and have an average life, there's a million things you could do. But back then, if you want to make $100,000, which was a lot of money back then, you were in the car business.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what you did.
Yep.
So that's what we both did. And I think it's worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good with the questions so far.
I mean, I
You want to
tried.
keep going?
I think we
That's
should
the
just.
way.
I think we should jump into some car questions.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
You're the boss.
We got some from all the platforms today, so we'll jump right in. TikTok.
Okay.
Brett Day asks, do you hire local inspectors when buying cars?
So with me, when I buy a car like from a private owner, I would say if it's over a certain amount of miles away, yes, I'll send Lemon Squad out there. You know, you guys can send me a check. Lemon Squad, out there, to do an inspection. But not always. Truthfully, you get kind of a feel for the customer, and if you feel like they've sent you enough pictures and enough documentation, and you pull the Carfax and all that, you don't always send an inspector. You probably should. You know what I mean? But I, not always wanting. I mean, on your side, you're buying wholesale just off pictures online a lot of times too.
I'm buying pictures.
Do you send inspectors?
No, I don't really use inspectors because basically, really, I'm buying from another dealer. And when you're buying from another dealer, there's a code in the car dealership, in the car industry that you have to be very honest.
Yeah.
So, if a dealer has a car that they're taking on trade, and for the most part, they're calling me before they even take it in on trade. They just want to know the number that they can put on the car so they can make their deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And I asked them, it's like, okay, does it have this? From experience, you know what I mean? Which vehicles have their little
What to ask?
Right,
the
you kind of
little-
have
the
like
little-
a quick route almost.
the little cricks, you know what I mean? Like, okay, make sure it's not doing this, make sure it's not doing that, you know what I mean? Mercedes or BMWs is sitting low, or you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so, and if they're very honest with you, you pretty much put a number based on the car being, hey, it's an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10.
Gotcha.
And if, sometimes, you can buy something and get kicked in the butt, you know what I mean? But for the most part, you call that dealer back and say, hey, look, I ran into this problem. We usually work it out. And
That's good.
and the same thing goes for me. I ship a car to Michigan that I sold to another dealer, and we move very, very fast. So, it's a car that slipped through the cracks, and I couldn't,
Right.
get to it in time or whatever. And hey, the car got here, it's got a check engine light. Well, figure it out. Let me know what it is, and we'll adjust. You know what I mean? And
You gotcha.
if there's enough money there for me to adjust and say, hey, look, here's $200-$300 off or whatever, I'll send you the check, and deal's done. But if you can't work it out, I have to be open to take the vehicle back.
Right.
So
And
taking
that's-
the car back, like Juan saying, that unwritten code,
Uh-huh.
if you got a problem, I'll just take the car back. It kind of alleviates in his business the need for an inspection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with a guy that you bought a bunch of cars from before, and if you aren't happy with the car, he says, I'll take it back. Why would I pay for an inspection if I know I got sort of a backup?
Yeah,
Right,
it's
exactly.
a relationship. You have a good relationship, and they, and you're dealing with, I'm not just buying 1-2 cars a week. You're buying 15, 20, 30 cars. You're dealing with millions of dollars in business with this, so you want to keep the relationship as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
So, on that aspect, no, I don't use an inspector, but I mean, that's a good idea to, like, if you're an online shopper and you're buying a car that's 3-4 states away,
For sure.
and like, hey, honey, I like this car. This is, we'll take a flight out there one way and we'll drive it back. Yeah, get an inspector. You know what I mean? Because it'll make you sleep better at night.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're a private owner buying a car out of state or something like that, yeah, spend the $99. Don't be cheap. You know what I mean? Like, you just spend the buck to get $99 to get an inspection.
I feel like that's
a good
becoming
question,
our
no?
quote of the episode. We say that at least once every episode.
What? Spend the $99?
Spend the $99.
We do?
We do.
Yeah.
Almost every time. All right, next question. Still from TikTok, we have Michael Moglin. I tried.
I'm gonna let you slide.
Just leave me be. He asks, when will trade values increase?
I mean, the way it is right now. So why you're asking that, Michael? I know why you're asking that, because you bought your current car during COVID pricing. You got charged $5,000 over MSRP, and you're upside down on the car. No question in my mind. This is why Michael's asking.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not so much when will they increase, because you're always going to get different dealers that fluctuate. One guy is trying to take cars in cheap right now, right? Because they're not selling over MSRP anymore, so his grosses are lower. So now he thinks he's got to steal the trade. Okay, that's how this rocket scientist is going to make money now. He's going to steal the trade. So, but then you got another dealer who, like me, would be like, what do I got to pay to get the car?
Right.
I want the car. You know what I mean? Because if I make $500, by getting the car and wholesaling it to a guy like Juan or taking it to the auction, that's better than not getting the car. So if I have to step, I am. So trade values are going to be higher when you find a dealer who values your business. We can all talk about like market fluctuation, like, oh, cars are up and cars are down, and cars are this. It's per dealer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I don't care what the auction sites say. I don't care what the books say. If I want that customer, I want to sell, let's say I'm a brand new car, whatever. If I want that customer, I'm going to pay what I have to pay to get the trade because I want to sell the new car. And I'm not going to go stupid. So, but I'm going to be on the high end if that gets me the deal, right? Because, getting the deal is better than not getting the deal.
Right, exactly.
So, trade values, though, I guess, across the board, when will they increase? I think they're pretty high right now. Because dealers kind of have to be high on them to get people like Michael out of his situation.
Yeah.
Because he's negative. You know what I mean? He's upside down the car. So if a dealer wants to make a deal, he's got to step up. So, but I think trade values are more based the dealer that you're dealing with. What kind of dealer are you dealing with? Go to a dealer who does high volume numbers on new cars, because that's where he makes all his money. He gives them away, but he gets a bunch of money back from the manufacturer. Right, and he makes money on finance. That's who you should go trade your car in if you're not getting enough.
Right.
That's who you should go. Go to a guy that sells 500 Chryslers a month. That guy sells 500 because he gives good money for trades.
Yep.
You're not going to get a good trade number from the guy down the street that sells 22 Chryslers a month.
Right.
Does that, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're 100% right.
So public has to think like that, not according to what the market is telling you. So, but good, but fair question.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, moving right along, we have JRED7346SE0. Which website is the best for evaluating your trade?
I know. So for me, as a consumer, I'm a big fan of Kelley Blue Book because I think they're on top of the market. They fluctuate quickly with the market, when it does go up and down or whatever. But there's a bunch of good sites. Look, really, you want to evaluate your trade right now and really find out what it's worth? Put it in CarMax. Send it to CarMax, because that's the biggest number right now in the country.
Is it really?
100%.
Yeah,
It's not.
they pay crazy money.
Vroom is close.
Yeah.
I looked at a car today that I made the guy an offer on the car. A strong offer. I wanted the car, $24,000. He sent me the thing from Vroom. It was $26,500.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm not scared. You know what I mean? If I want a car, I'll try. You know what I mean? And so Vroom is aggressive, but put in CarMax. They're paying ridiculous money. I think they are sniffing Carvana going out of business, so they're trying to take over that market. And they're giving a lot of money for cars. What site, Juani, if you're a consumer right now, what site would you say?
I like Car Gurus. They do a pretty good job at it.
To evaluate the trades?
I would also jump on just the regular market, like see what cars what your car that you're trading in is selling for in the market, in the retail, and then back it off of that, because obviously the dealership has to make profit.
Right.
So, Car Gurus is a very good site, but just keep in mind that, they don't have a print check button,
Right.
So,
Print check button, I love that.
they say a certain amount, you walk into a dealership and you're like, well, they're offering me this for this car. Well, they're not offering you anything. They're telling you that your car is maybe worth this, but they haven't seen your car either. So, when I walk around a car and I see dings and scratches and bald tires, well, when you're wholesaling, you're working on very small margins. So I'm not going to buy a car, give you this much for a car, and I got to turn around and flip it for another dealership, because they need inventory.
And recon it.
And I got to recon the whole car. So it makes, by doing that, it takes me totally out of the helm. So, keep that in mind that, your car's got to be the way you say it is, because I
Yeah,
mean,
these
some
websites are
of these
guides.
trades are like just horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So these websites are guides. That's what they are.
right.
I mean, so Juan likes Car Gurus for evaluating trades, which I've heard good things about that. I like KBB. I mean, listen, put it on 4 or 5 different websites because they're all going to be different.
Kelly Blue Book. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But like, go to admins, go to Car Gurus, go to Kelly Blue Book, go to do an NADA, do them all. You know what I mean? Do them all, and then print the highest one, take it in the dealer.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what that's what I would do. So
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna jump over to Instagram land.
IG,
IG.
it's all for the IG, the gram.
Me and Mike 1988 says. Wait, I'm skipping that question. I don't know why I put it in. That has
That's
nothing,
what she
to
said.
do with today's topic.
That's what she said. Okay. Well, what do you mean? Can I buy a work truck with a 6? Well, don't ignore Mean Mike. What the fuck? I mean, you just decide Mean Mike doesn't matter?
Listen,
Oh my
I'm
God,
trying
Mike!
to
I am
say-
so. It should be Mean Eva.
This is like week 2 in a row that I'm just the mean.
I know. I mean, you're talking our I mean, Mean Mike 1988. I am sorry. I apologize for my partner. Clearly, she's not. She's having a moment.
I'm just a cruel person.
I'm sure it has something to do with the big, weird, fluffy ears on her head.
Listen.
That is, yeah. You're like a. What is that? What's the mean cat? Like the mean. What's the?
An alley cat?
I don't know.
What, but like a jaguar or something.
Oh.
Like a what are you?
Mm.
You're a black cat.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just bad luck all around.
All right, Mike. I'm sorry. Okay, you don't deserve that treatment. I'm gonna answer your question, Mike, because I think you're important. Can I buy a work truck with a 650 credit score and LLC, but trade in my car? I owe $7,000 on it, but do Uber with it. Looking to start a car hauling business. Want to start small. Mike, 650 credit score and an LLC. So it sounds to me like you want to be a PG, personal guarantor, on an LLC and buy a work truck for your business. You want to title it in the company name so you can get the tax write-off. I understand all that. And you can trade in your personal car. You owe $7,000. Let's say that you're a wash. I don't know. But you do Uber with it. So, I mean, if you trade in your car, okay, so you want to get out of doing Uber and you want to start a car hauling business. I got you. So, yeah, 650 credit score. There's going to be, with the LLC involvement, it's going to limit your banks a little bit, but not much. You got a 650 credit score, so you're a C tier. My only concern for you, Mean Mike, is that if you Uber, it's probably going to be somewhat difficult for you to prove income or substantial income unless, like, you drive around all day. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you do anything additional with Uber, but you're a car deal. I would find a way to sell you a car. Yeah, I mean, and you're trying to buy a work truck, so want to start small. So it doesn't sound like you're trying to buy a brand new one. I mean, yeah, Mean Mike, even though Eva doesn't want you to have a car, I think you're a car deal, yes.
You can DM me about it later and I'll apologize. It's okay.
She's blocked you already.
All
Go ahead.
right, well, now we're going to jump over to Facebook world. John Taylor asks,
JT's up.
what is the best / most efficient way to sell my 80K mile car outside the dealership? Good condition.
Facebook Marketplace. Or Auto Trader Private Seller Marketplace. That's the best way. Put your car on a private seller marketplace site. Deal with the pain in the ass people. Deal with the guys coming over saying they want it, but they got to get the financing done. Or can they pay you in 9 installments? Deal with it if you want to get the most money. If you want the most seamless, stress-free transaction, trade it into the dealer and just work them for the highest number that you can get. But the best, most efficient way, when you say best, I think you mean most profitable, sell it in the open market. Facebook Marketplace or private seller marketplace on Auto Trader, which is a new tool that's out there that's about to take off. John Taylor was an excellent wide receiver for the 49ers, by the way.
Interesting contact today.
That's his name.
All right, well, our last question of the day comes from Grant Snyder. What is the impact on used car trade value that has been in an accident but fully repaired at an authorized dealership repair shop?
Well, we have an appraisal expert to our right, so I think that to have Juan answer that. What's the impact?
You know, everybody has accidents. You know, in today's world, I mean, my daughter just got rear-ended the other day, sitting at a park, talking to her mother on the phone, which I was in the car, and you know, it happens. She drives a 2020 Mercedes GLC. If I was to take that car in on trade, I wouldn't appraise it any differently, because if it's been repaired correctly,
Right.
it shouldn't have any. It doesn't.
After effects.
It doesn't really affect the car. Now, if it's been in a horrible accident where you know you got frame damage or airbag deploy, of course that depreciates the value a little bit. More consistently. But as far as one or two accidents, minors on Carfax, I see past that, because if the person took care of the vehicle, kept the miles low, it's clean, and they did the regular maintenance, it's a car that other people are going to surely appreciate. So I don't really let that.
I feel like he's talking about like a minor. This
Yeah,
guy. Yeah,
yeah,
he's talking about.
Don't let that really discourage you from getting what you want for your car.
Yeah, I don't think it has a big of an impact either. Like Juan said, though, if it's got structural or frame damage, you're talking 20-30%. That it could decrease a bit. I mean, some guys would say more. But I agree. A minor accident, Carfax, minor accident. I'm not gonna, again, now listen, if it's tri-coat white and that part that was in an accident is now oatmeal colored, you know what I'm saying? We've got a problem. You know what I'm saying? But if it was done right at a good shop, like Juan says, I'm not gonna ding the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, goes back to this. I'm not gonna ding the guy, or let's say I am. I got another guy next to me who just said he's not.
Right.
So do I want the car or not? You want to be scared because of an accident? Because he's not.
Right.
So are you going to get the car, or you want to let him have it?
Right.
So it's like you got to kind of keep up with the rest of the field.
Mm-hmm.
So, good question.
Yeah, well, that's all of our questions for today.
All right. It seemed like a lot,
Yeah, that was a good list.
but they were all good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is good?
What's that? I mean, suds.
What else is good is that I think we're getting a lot of people that are going to come to this finale thing that I didn't want to do because I was afraid nobody was going to come.
I am so excited. I can't wait.
I'm still not convinced people are going to show.
I mean, we know that at least 3 people are going to show, which is our previous guests,
Right,
Mike, Gingy,
right,
and Trisha.
Right. No, I know. But listen, my hope is this, and again, this is, this podcast isn't going to make me rich. We don't do this because of the financial gain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, is it fun? It's fun. I have fun doing it.
It's a blast.
And I know you have fun doing it. It is fun. You know what I mean? But
Anytime you can help the consumer.
that's right. We do this because it's like, it's cool to drop some knowledge on people and that they didn't know. I mean, I got 3 more DMs today that just kind of warmed my heart.
Even in the live.
Oh, yeah. Talking about, like, what you told me helped me. You know what I'm saying? I had a girl in Indiana or whatever. I remember I answered her DM post-Ambien. So I don't know if I typed it right or whatever. But, she DM'd me today. She's like, thank you so much for your opinion. She's like, you saved me money.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
girl in the live today. She said that she did a $16K deal and saved like $3,000
Yeah.
because of listening to you.
So that's why we do this. You know what I mean? So I'm just having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But I hope people will show up in person and have as much fun. Dude, look, I'm excited. I just think it's cool that people can look on their little device and see a guy doing stupid TikToks and he helps them save money, and then they can meet at the podcast and boom, you got a friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm a horrible friend.
I'm
a bad friend. So if you make friends with me at the podcast thing, I mean, there's a good chance that that's a temporary relationship because I'll let you down. But I promise when you text me about car questions, I will answer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that is my thing. I'm like, I got to answer. It happens to me now. I had people from high school that you don't even know. High school. I'm buying a car. hey, dude, I haven't seen you since graduation.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what I mean? But I feel obligated, you know what I mean? Because they saw me on TikTok or Instagram or my pocket, whatever. And so that's why we do it. And I don't mind it. I love it. It's fun. And, you know, I get to, you know, spend time with you.
Yes, and you know that's one of my
Without
favorite
Rob.
things in the whole world. Well, Rob will be there at the finale.
Yeah, but he's not here tonight.
He's not here.
He's not here right now. He ain't going to be here when we turn the lights off.
Ooh.
What's up, Rob?
I mean, we did say it was threesome.
right.
On that note, one last thank you to our sponsor, Evolutionary Productions. All the info for our sponsor, our merch, the live finale is in the description. So click all the links and do all the things.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, this is fun. This is great.
Absolutely.
This is great. Yeah. So, thanks to Juan for coming on. It's been cool having him share his knowledge from the wholesale side of it. DM us. I know you're gonna. You know, Instagram, TikTok. You know, all the socials, everything. Facebook. If you got questions about wholesale, you want to ask Juan something, DM me. I'll forward it to him. You know, or whatever. We'll talk him into getting his social media stuff going.
So we'll work on it.
But you know, until next time, holler.
Holla.
Hey, Goat Army, thank you so much for listening. We really, really appreciate all the support.
And we would like to thank our sponsor for this week's episode. Your support means a ton.
Now, you can find me across all social media at goatforreal216. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. For additional info, you can check out my bio page, www.goatforreal216.info. Now, when you go to those socials, please do me a quick favor. Make sure you hit the like, follow, and subscribe buttons.
And you can find me across all social media at Evolutionary Productions, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. For additional info, you can check out www.evolutionaryproductions.com or www.evabrettrager.com. And just like Sean P. said, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe.
Yeah, leave us ratings, reviews on your preferred streaming platforms. And listen, guys, please be honest. Listen, this podcast is not going to be effective if we don't reach the right audience and you don't tell us what it is you want from our content. Be honest, please.
And subscribe there as well. Additionally, for exclusive content, be sure to join us on Patreon, which gives you access to our secret Discord.
We love secrets.
Yes, we do.
Holler.
Holla.
The Goat for Real 216 podcast is produced by Goat for Real 216 and Evolutionary Productions. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved. No part of this podcast can be reused or reproduced without written express consent from all parties. For information, please contact Evolutionary Productions directly at evolutionaryproductions@gmail.com. Holla!